Did the Amnesty Act of 1986, in your opinion, actually encourage even more persons to illegally emigrate here?
I think what happened is the amnesty, the legalization program, often referred to as an amnesty of 1986, was not, as Brian said, completely implemented as recommended. And a huge flaw. I mean, it had supposedly two parts of the puzzle. It was going to grant legal status to those who were already here, and then deter future undocumented by requiring employers for the very first time ever to require individuals to show that they had legal status to work. Now, as Brian said, one of the problems is, great, you have this law for employers, but then it wasn't enforced. And number three, there was a third piece to that recommendation to discourage future undocumented from entering, and that is recognizing that we needed to increase the legal number of visas. And that was never implemented. The visas weren't increased, and what you had was, again, a huge flow of people attempting to enter. And I think that's important now in any plan that we have now we're again at the same doorstep. We have an undocumented population. We want to discourage individuals from entering the country without documentation, working without authorization. But how do we do this? We need the third leg. We need to increase the legal number of visas so that will discourage individuals from seeking illegal or undocumented entry and remaining so.
And there's one other core piece to this. Mexico and Central America don't get a pass. They don't continue to be able to brutalize their people year after year after year after year. And taking all this oil revenue and all this, and what happens? Why are they still coming north in these numbers? The reason, and you can look at the Pew Center, has done studies on this, Mexican Consul. The reason is that Mexican nationals in particular have given up on their government and their country, and they're coming north. And by the way, they're bringing families in increasing numbers. It used to just come individual males mostly, used to come in the 70s. But they've checked out on Mexico because they're so discouraged that things are not improving for them. This is why, you know, we're hopeful that Felipe Calderón, the next president of Mexico, he wants to create jobs down there. He wants to give people a reason to stay at home. I mean, they don't come to Chicago for the weather, right out loud. So people don't generally leave their homes and go thousands of miles somewhere else unless they really are forced to do this. It takes extraordinary effort to do these things.
And just on a quick point, actually something quite revolutionary of the Strive Act that was introduced into the House, on the House side, that to address comprehensive immigration reform, which we have never ever had before, that act would require that the U.S. government partner with Mexico, that is actually sit down and discuss what is Mexico going to do to prevent the undocumented entry. And failure to engage in those discussions or to meet agreed on expectations could result in penalties to Mexico, such as limitation of foreign aid. So in other words, there would be some sanctions for failure to partner with us in attempting to limit the undocumented crossing. And that's quite revolutionary in its